Jordan Peterson released a Q&A video in early June on his channel, and the first question asked was, why is the feminine represented as chaos? This caught my attention, and so I decided to devote a bit of time to expand on and offer my interpretation of the idea. In his video, Jordan briefly mentions how, ironically, even feminists themselves identify order with the masculine, and how this dual symbolism can be found in old philosophies. He states that to an extent he doesn't know the answer himself, but as far as he can tell, the feminine challenges the masculine by throwing it into disorder, primarily through rejection. It challenges the order to be reordered. Therefore, it must be chaos. Essentially, this is a very good answer. To understand this better, though, we need to delve a bit deeper. With the aforementioned question, there inevitably arises an accompanying question. That's, why is the masculine represented as order? How did this interaction between chaos and order originate? If we look at the most ancient mythologies and religious ideas, we encounter the same bipartite symbolism across different cultures. The answer to this is rather straightforward. The myths that lie in and represent the foundation of the functioning of the world are the creation myths, as those are meant to explain how everything arose in the first place and how it keeps arising. Rather than being merely philosophical, if we go back into the past when thinking wasn't that nuanced, this idea has a very material, down-to-earth foundation: reproduction. With the exception of self-replicating organisms, there are always two sexes in every species, and that applies even for hermaphrodites, as they don't go beyond this duality. Rather, it's merged in one organism, but still remains dual. The interaction of the two, the feminine and the masculine, brings about procreation. Inductively, therefore, this gave the creation myth its origins. The very same idea was then expanded upon in other myths, such as the hero's journey, where it took on a more nuanced form, but remained the same in essence. It eventually covered not only the physical, but also the psychological processes that human beings undergo. All these processes are connected by the same idea, and that's the encounter of the masculine with the feminine. When we look at the beginning, when the physical sphere is manifested through thought, its origins lie in reproduction itself. First, the masculine, with the sole purpose of planting the seed of creation, descends into the womb, depicted as water in myths. What is womb? Unlimited pure potential. With the entrance of the masculine, it becomes delimited. It's given a shape, a purpose. Without it, there is just chaos, that is, lack of order. What order is there in something suspended in the state of being able to become something? None. Once it's given a shape, that's when it becomes ordered. The idea of chaos is the idea of potential. Potential and chaos are in all these myths the very same. Without the masculine, there would be no purpose giving, and without the feminine, there would be no potential for that purpose to be received and realized. Let's look at how this idea is played out in myths. Like I said, it's important to note that in the older myths, this idea was much more concrete. Later on, it kept getting more and more abstract. For example, in Greek mythology, there's the Hades, the underworld, where the hero descends to bring his loved one back to life, or where every human goes after death, which closes the cycle of life, risen from and returned to the darkness of the womb. On the psychological sphere, risen from and returned to the darkness of the unconsciousness. In Sleeping Beauty, the psychological interplay between the masculine and feminine is played out. The consciousness, the order, the masculine, must awaken the unconscious, the chaos, the feminine, for its potential to be realized. In this case, it depicts the maturation of the girl into a woman that's both physical and psychological. The adversary is the chaos, the terrible mother trying to keep its daughter, the potential, from being taken away by its purpose, the order. In the Beauty and the Beast myth, the masculine restores its splendor only through the transformative power of the potential. So, chaos is feminine and order is masculine first and foremost because of their functions and attributes on the biological level, whose development precedes the mental level in antiquity. When we venture past the physical, we discover that the interplay between these forces is same in nature. When played out in interactions, just like Jordan Peterson mentioned, the masculine is thrown into disarray by the feminine. On the individual level, biologically, each time we go to sleep, we return into the darkness of the womb, and when we wake up, we come out of it again. The presence of daylight reawakens us. That's partially why unconsciousness is seen as feminine and consciousness as masculine. Psychologically, unconsciousness is clearly chaos, for there floats absolutely everything without any voluntarily given determination. On the other hand, consciousness is strictly defined by its limits and can't venture past them. If it happens, neurosis arises. If you'd like to see more videos where I address a specific question or reaction style videos, let me know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button for more content.